Watch Chikwama. This program is dedicated and meant to give you marketeers, traders, vendors, and small-scale farmers information on how you can access soft loans, contribute to social security, and learn more on how you can pay tax. ABN TV. Watch it, live it.
It is a lovely evening today on the 20th. Today, what's the date today, by the way? 25th of August 2020. A beautiful month in a beautiful year. You know, it has been challenging. It hasn't been a smooth year. It has been so rough in as far as doing business is concerned, especially those of us that are into small and medium businesses due to COVID-19. And we are here yet again to continue advising one another on what we need to do in order for us to keep moving, to keep doing our businesses. Okay, and as usual on Chikwama, I'm joined by two gentlemen. One face is new, the other one I think it's a regular face. We have interacted with him, Mr. Kelvin Sanga from iConnect. iNetcom. Sorry for that mix-up. iNetcom. And then I'm joined by a new face, Mr. Sidat here. This is the former CEO for Madison Insurance. He has served in so many worked for insurance companies not only in Zambia but Kenya, countries like Uganda, Tanzania, Mauritius, Dubai, India, and he is now here in Zambia and he is running a business, InsurTech. And this is called, the company that is dealing in InsurTech, it is called Venture Holdings Limited. Mr. Sidat and Mr. Sanga, good evening and welcome, gentlemen, to today's Chikwama program.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, and good evening, viewers.
Good evening,
Thank
viewers.
you. Yeah, and to kickstart our show today, quite interesting. We are looking at a very interesting topic. We still, in the wake of COVID-19, and the businesses or business has to continue because we are here. We still need to eat, we still need to clothe, we still need to do all sorts of things as we move on with our lives, and therefore we are going to stop talking about issues to do with business. Today we are looking at the cost of production and business resilience during COVID-19. Production cost and then business resilience in the fight against COVID-19. Mr. Sang,
yes,
I'll begin with you.
Yes, sir.
Your understanding of cost of production and business resilience during COVID-19.
Well, my understanding with these two concepts, first I'll begin with cost of production before I actually come to business resilient. Cost of production usually it's a unit cost that is involved in compounding a certain product. Mm-hmm. For example, if you are involved in the business, obviously you need some raw materials, you need some aggregations for you to actually come up with a certain product. So it's just basically the compounding cost that actually get involved into the production or producing of a product. Okay. Similarly, with the business that has also a service nature, there are also costs that are involved. That's why they are even referred to, maybe if it's a bus, you're running a bus, mm-hmm. There are also some costs that are involved, like cost of fuel, cost of the driver, cost of the conductor, and all those things. So they compound to be the umbrella cost of production in that sector. Then when it comes to the issues of business resilience is basically the component which actually, or it's the ideal situation where you you need to have a recovery process in the business in such a way that if maybe something like what is happening right now, where COVID has compounded a lot of economic effect on most of the sectors, including the individual businesses actually. So the resilience comes in as a result of you looking at a modality for you to sustain that business to remain imperative, so that you are able to sustain your sustainable goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is your understanding.
Yes.
Let me throw this same question to Mr. Siddharth here. Your understanding of cost of production and business resilience, especially when we throw it, we come down actually to the informal sector, small and medium business. Your understanding and what do they ought to do in order for them to remain relevant in the business sector?
In terms of the small scale sector or the SME segment, the key is minimizing the cost. And when with this COVID atmosphere, the sales are down, the revenues are down, but you have a cost. So how do we minimize that cost? And how, in terms of minimizing the cost, do we do it in a way that it affects the very core business, or we do it in a way that business is sustainable, business can continue running, but the cost is less? What happens is when there are economic difficulties surrounding the market, the sales goes down, the cost remains. So compared to the sale or the revenue coming in, the cost is high. How do we, so to sustain that business, to make it continuous and profitable, you need to reduce the cost.
Okay.
And there are many ways to reduce those costs.
Okay.
So
maybe mention some of ways that one or a businessman can reduce those production costs. Maybe
So-
mention one or two.
Yeah.
Ways in
So
which they
he
can-
was giving an example of the buses.
Yes.
Okay. So in the buses, there is a fixed cost, which is the taxes. They are fixed whether you run the bus, you don't run the bus, you pay the taxes. There is a cost of the employees, the driver, the cleaner, the conductor, the fuel. Those are the costs. There's the insurance cost. Then there is cost of maintaining the vehicle. So how do we reduce this? Okay. So do we need 3 people to be in a bus when it is running, or is one person able to manage it? Okay. So you look at that. And to do that, how do we bring in technology? That's one. Second, you are running the bus from morning, say 8 to evening 16 hours, 17 hours. So do you wait for the bus to get full and then run, or you take the passengers as and when they're coming and run more trips? Okay. Instead of doing 2 trips or 3 trips a day, you do 6 trips a day with the same manpower, with the same machine, with the same taxes. So you increase your rotation of cash. That way, the cost per trip would come down, the cost for the business would come down, and the revenues would go up. In comparison with the revenue, the cost would fall.
Wow. Okay, interesting stuff. In case you've just joined us, you are watching Chikwama this evening, and today we are looking on the cost of production and business resilience. How can you reduce on the cost of production? Because many of us actually, let me put it that way, many of us that are into small and medium entrepreneurs, SMEs, we have complained and we have cried of high cost of some of these products that we need in order for us to run our businesses. But how best can we reduce on the cost of production in order for us to realize profit, okay, to continue making profit? Because if we stop making profit, that business is as good as dead, isn't it, gentlemen?
Yes, that's very
Yes,
true.
because business is equals to profit making.
Yes.
If you are not making profit, then I will advise you to stop that. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. That's very
So
true.
business, as has to go on. What should small and medium entrepreneurs do? Other ways, Mr. Chisanga,
Yes.
that you feel, other than what Mr. E has said,
Yeah.
what other ways should our small and medium entrepreneurs engage into, or adopt in order to reduce on the cost of production?
Well, there are actually many ways in which one can reduce. Maybe if I take it from the small scale
Yes,
entrepreneurship.
especially someone who,
Yes.
a marketer actually on the market. at the
Well,
market.
the part which can actually be theirs to help reduce the cost. Actually, it's issues to do with the projection. You project to say, okay, you see that, for example, I'll give you a typical example of certain imported goods. If you know that certain goods that you normally sell on the market are mostly imported goods, you can also look at local sourcing. And also you can look at enhancing your capacity in terms of the skill, and also you can also look at being innovative and creative as well. If you look at all these areas, if you try to enhance all these areas, you'll find that you can always find a common factor to reduce your cost. How you're going to reduce your cost is because whatever you have been importing or whatever you have been buying out into Zambia, basically, if you find a local supplier or you find local materials that are almost equivalent to what you can make for the one that has been mostly imported, you can always reduce the cost by doing such. For example, I'll give a typical
you
example.
run away from maybe paying those duties at the airport and stuff.
Yes. If you are making, for example, I'll give a typical example. If I import fertilizer, I'm a farmer. I do grow vegetables. I always import farmers, let's say, basil dressing or the other type of fertilizer. I would simply make, go into bio fertilizer, where if, for example, I come up with a biogas, produce fertilizer out of organic system, and start using it in that form. So it means I've removed away from the conventional fertilizer. I've cut the cost that I always spend, because a bag of fertilizer will cost you about 450 kwacha. But if you go the biogas, you spend less. So that's a cost which we're talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. In case you've just joined that, this is Chikwama, and today we're looking at very, very interesting topic: how you can reduce on the cost of production in order for you to keep moving with your business. Okay, business resilience, very, very important, and I'm joined by two gentlemen who are experts in when it comes to business, entrepreneurship, and also insurance. Actually, right about now we're going for a short break. When we come back, I want Mr. Siddharth to zero into insurance. Those of you, or many of us in SMEs, most of us SMEs who are into small and medium entrepreneurship, many are the times when we have failed, or I don't know whether it's deliberately or we don't understand at all what insurance is and the goodness that come with insurance. So we'll be getting into understanding of that when we get back from the break. So for now, a short break, and then we get back and continue.
Access to loans, contributions to Social Security, and issues to do with tax were only left to the formal sector. But this is not the case anymore. Watch Chikwama. This program is dedicated and meant to give you marketeers, traders, vendors, and small-scale farmers information on how you can access soft loans, contribute to Social Security, and learn more on how you can pay tax. ABN TV. Watch it, live it. Access to loans, contributions to Social Security, and issues to do with tax were only left to the formal sector. But this is not the case anymore. Watch Chikwama. This program is dedicated and meant to give you marketeers, traders, vendors, and small-scale farmers information on how you can access soft loans, contribute to social security, and learn more on how you can pay tax. ABN TV. Watch it, live it.
Thank you so much. Welcome back. We're glad that you're still tuned in to African Agribusiness Network Television, ABN TV, and this is Chikwama that you're watching this evening. We're coming live from our ABN studios right here in Lusaka. Okay, there's a number on your screen. That number is meant for you to get interacting with us. Send a question, send a comment, send a concern. Type a concern on your phone and then send it to that that number on your screen, and you gladly, attend to it by reading it loud, and then my two experts here will be able to answer and help you on what you need to do according to the question that you ask. Gentlemen, before we went on break, I mentioned, something to do with insurance. Mr. It is that we want, the informal sector to also have a share, to also begin, to see the benefits of insurance, surviving COVID-19 when it comes to doing business, and then bringing it with insurance. How can you marry the two?
Yeah,
maybe begin from explaining to the viewers out there what insurance is and what it does.
Okay. Insurance is a fallback under which if there is a calamity, there is a event, there is a unfortunate event, there is a financial compensation to put back the business. So this pandemic, or what you call COVID, globally was totally unexpected. Most of the industries, most of the businesses didn't have proper protection against pandemic, both at the personal level and at the business level. Not just individuals, but large corporates, large industries, airlines, hotels didn't have cover for COVID. So when COVID hit them, the businesses dropped. When the businesses dropped, they were not able to generate revenue, but they were incurring fixed cost. So their profits started falling. If they had insurance against COVID or business interruption cover because of COVID, they would have been able to be compensated. But majority of businesses and individuals in the world globally didn't have that cover. Okay. Unfortunate part, it was not expected this level of this magnanimity of the attack. Now for large businesses, they have the capacity to absorb losses. It is the individuals and the small businesses which do not have the capability or capacity to withstand any loss. If I'm a small businessman doing a shop in Soweto market, and my shop is either gutted or the goods are stolen, I'll be put behind by years. To get back to business, I'll have to borrow, and the cost of borrowing is is a very high, over 30%. It reaches up to 100%. So the cost of borrowing is high, and the capital required, I'll be paying more to the finance companies than I'll be generating from the business. So if I had insurance in place, if I had that protection, if there was a small fire which gutted it, or if there is a theft which robbed it, or if people were not able to access the goods because of reasons A, B, C, then I would have had that protection. So it is paramount that small and medium businesses and individuals have insurance in place, because it affects them much more than large industries and large business services.
Okay, but to come
Yeah,
in.
please come in.
You know, in Zambia, we've got a tendency where we do not regard insurance as one of the prerequisites in the business. It's something that they don't consider so much. And you see, insurance has been regarded as one of the sheer wasting of resources. And most of the small businesses, they don't look at insurance as a key factor in the business process. So
Absolutely. I've observed that.
You even find that even when it comes to issues of, for example, household goods, we do not look at the sudden issues that can happen. You know, should it happen that our household goods are bent, where do we fall? Where do we get, and we don't have a saving culture. So it's a lot of things. Again, also it goes on the other side of the regulation. If you at all the insurance sector at that scale level is actually enhanced and is broadened to even actually take some diversity culture in terms of even going to sectorial approach, where they go to the small businesses and even just a 1% deduction from that's what they are insuring, their properties, their businesses, their whatever it is. I think that's a point which I also need to challenge the insurance sector. Should also look at a modality to go down, get to see what product they can make or what product they can factor for the small scale entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think you have a point there.
Yeah.
In as much as we sit here and look at these small business people or small businesses as people who do not want to go into or begin to buy insurance policies, but again also the insurance sector are not doing much
they
to
have to
sensitize. So information has to be trickled down to these marketeers, vendors, you know, people with small shops. They should know about insurance. Okay, for those of you that are just joining us right now, this is Chikwama, and today we are looking at the cost of production and business resilience. And then we are looking at the goodness of having your business insured, or your products, your assets, your property insured, you know, in line when especially when you are hit by a calamity such as COVID-19, the way it has disturbed us. Most of us, if we were insuring, if we had the cover, then that means we were going to have, you know, something to fall on. But it so happened that it was very unfortunate, and when we look at numbers, you find that there are very few people who have their businesses insured, and those are the only ones who are doing
If anything, if you look at the concept of business resilience, insurance comes in as a component.
Okay.
So you can only embrace the recovery process through insurance means. So in that case, insurance comes to fit in as an exploitative strategy. Should this happen, you're able to recover
Follow
quickly.
something.
Yeah. So your business aims and objective will still be sustained.
Okay. So, Mr. Siddharth, how then should we help the informal sector understand and begin to see sense, begin to see, you know, sense. Let me use that same term. I'm not offending anyone. For them to begin, the informal sector beginning to see sense in buying these covers or insurance policies. What do we do to help the informal sector?
For me,
you as an expert.
For me, what I've seen is the small businesses, the small business owners, the individuals, the small SMEs. They know that the business they are doing has risks. It's a daily risk which they are carrying. What they may not be knowing is insurance is not expensive; it is reasonably priced. That's one.
Actually,
they're
that's,
afraid.
that's another point business people look at. Small businesses look at. They think there is this huge chunk of amount that you people charge for them to have their
Yes.
businesses.
So normally the cost of insurance is very low.
Okay.
If you look at the cost of borrowing is say 50 to 100%, the cost of insurance is just less than 1%.
Wow.
Okay.
Just like that.
Yes. So
Okay.
it is you can call at least 10 times to 100 times less than the cost of borrowing from a commercial entity
Bank.
or a non-banking financial institution. So
Mhm.
people do borrow, still they borrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but the insurance they feel it is expensive, but nobody has actually explained to them that the cost of insurance is less.
It's
The
less.
second thing for the informal sector is they don't have bills and receipts of what they trade in,
Mm-hmm.
or even if they have, it's not in a properly accounted formats for them to substantiate a claim,
Mhm.
and that actually deters many of them from insuring their assets. So there has to be insurance companies have to come out with products which are simpler, which are easier for them to understand, for them to insure, and for them to, if there is a claim, to claim.
Okay.
Once that is done, there will be confidence in the small segment or small scale business owners or individuals that they can insure and they'll get a claim without hassle.
Okay.
Okay, so to make the product simpler, to make it available at the place they need it, at the time they need it, and at the price they need it,
Mhm.
and the manner and in the quantities they need it is key. So there is something which insurance sector has to do, and there is something the business associations. The marketers association is there in different markets. They can be the channel or aggregators for distributing that product.
Mm-hmm.
Third thing is the cash flow for the business. So a small business may have seasons in which they sell more and seasons when they don't sell.
It's very true.
Okay. So the insurance premium payments also should cater to the business cycle of the small scale or small businesses. So if it caters to their cash flow or their income, then they'll have the premium to pay at the right time when they have the money. And the policies should also cater to those sort of things.
Wow, interesting stuff. This is Chikwama, and you are watching us live from our ABN studios right here in Lusaka. Mr. Chan,
Yes, sir.
anything to add to what Mr. Siddhartha is saying?
Yes, I concur with some of the points which he has highlighted to say that the product should be made available. And also, as I mentioned, to say there is a need for us to look at insurance, diversity, culture, where we need to narrow down in different sector of the market. We need to make a good segment of what we are offering in the insurance sector. Of course, there has to be a strong communication strategy as well from the regulators, and they must be also aware. I'll give you a typical example in this case. If you are buying a vehicle, in Zambia, it's by law you cannot have a car on the public road without having insurance. So insurance is one of the mandatory components which actually impact on the ownership of the vehicle. So even when you are selling that vehicle, the insurance automatically changes. Actually, it cuts the contract for the insurance cuts off from
It expires.
Expires, yes. So the new person who's buying, immediately when that person buys, he buys
They have to buy
insurance.
insurance.
So we need to find certain product in the market that can have also a certain sense of model of that nature, so that we appreciate the insurance, because insurance it's something that has worked so well even in the other circles of industry, and it's also one of the biggest head on the economic activity as well, because it helps so much.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. In case you just joined us, this is Chikwama. We're coming live from ABN TV studios right here in Lusaka. Earlier on I said there's a number in your screen. Take advantage of that number. Ask as many questions as possible. You can ask Mr. Sidat questions, especially on insurance. Okay? Agriculture, Mr. Sidat. Insurance. If there are people who are very, very behind when it comes to insurance, are people who are into farming. Only those commercial farmers. You find that they have their farms insured, their property at the farm, everything is insured, including their workers. You know, they've bought all those covers. But when it comes to a small scale farmer, bringing these issues to do with insurance to begin with, they won't understand you when you bring in those words to them. It's a jargon. You need to begin to how are you helping that area of insurance?
In case of farmers, I mean the smallhold farmers, their distribution is a key.
Okay.
How does insurance company reach out to the last mile farmer?
Exactly the question.
Or similarly, how does the farmers are able to access insurance staying from any remote place? So the distribution is key, and the distribution can be digital distribution or it can be a aggregator distribution. So at this moment, there are farmers groups at every village level. There are telecom service providers at every village levels. In addition to that, there are government agencies at different village levels. All these can be combined and synergized to see that they get access to insurance. Now, what does farmer, for a farmer, what does he produce? He produces the crop, or he has a cattle. Okay. So for him, if you say that insurance is one bag of maize more, so if you want to insure, you want to insure 100 hectares or 1 hectare, and you're producing 50 bags from that. So out of 50 bags, so you have to say pay 1 bag as insurance cost. He'll produce 1 bag more from the same field, so it doesn't cost him much. Okay. If they say, okay, out of say 15 cattle, he has to give 1 cattle as insurance. It's easier for him because he'll breed another cattle. So it has to the insurance has to cater to what they actually do on the ground. They produce crop, they rear cattle. So if insurance companies also adjust their products, adjust their distribution, adjust their outreach to take care of the actual needs of the farmers on the ground, then the farmers it would be in a language which they understand. For them, if they say that instead of producing 50 bags, if you end up producing 20 bags, the insurance company will pay the 30 bags free. That they will understand. But if you tell them that there is an index insurance which will trigger when the satellite says that there is no rainfall, then they will not understand.
They will not. Definitely
Okay.
they will not.
So the insurance company has to go down to the level of farmers and make them understand the product. And they should make the product which is easily, the farmers can relate to. So there is a scheme which is running where it's index-based insurance for under the FISUP scheme, where they're covered for the inputs. So
Okay.
I wanted to mention actually the same one.
Oh,
it's
okay.
the inputs, and I mean whether you have half acre or you have 10 acre, you're still getting the same insurance cover, which doesn't make sense. So if I'm a farmer having half an acre, I'll produce say 20 bags of maize. If I'm a farmer having say 4 acres, I'll produce 200 bags of maize. I can't be given the same compensation. Okay, so people should understand what actually happens on the farm, and then create and give products which they can appreciate.
Ah, interesting. You have something to
No,
add?
I wanted just to mention that you hinted on the large scale farmers, getting acclimatized with the insurance, then as opposed to the small
the
informal sector. Basically, they are still mentioned the FISIP is the only component which has got insurance. So, and that is hidden. It's not something that has been highlighted to even the
Actually, the same beneficiaries of FISIP don't even know that
they don't know.
there is.
They don't know. Yes, they don't know. And also the other aspect also is just maybe on the side of insurance players.
Mhm.
I think also there is a need for the insurance players also to look at issues to do with drought. When there is too much drought, of course, sometimes the farming undertaking it's something that they always consider it to be a little bit ambiguous in that they know that farming has got so many components. It's something that is prone to so many factors like weather, a lot of things that happen in the farming cycle. So that's the reason why we even now find that we've got some few products that can suit on the farming part of business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is getting interesting and interesting. You are watching Chikwama in case you've just joined us, and we are looking at surviving, in as far as business is concerned in the wake of COVID-19. So insurance, if we had that culture of insuring our businesses, by now we were not going to complain, cry, say no, the business is not doing fine because no restrictions here and there. Yeah, quite all right, restrictions, they are also contributing. But if you had these covers, then you are going to have something to fall on, and it was going to be good.
There is a term that they use. They normally term as loss of use. Loss of use actually is applicable in the.
What break that down? What does it mean?
Loss of use usually applies in a situation where, for example, you needed to make certain money that maybe comes monthly in a fixed manner. Then COVID comes in this case. If you are insured, they will be able to. The insurance will be able to pay you that money, which actually you've been getting from your monthly engagements. Yeah. So I don't know how you can explain, but this term is actually within the insurance cycles. They call it loss of use.
Loss of use.
Yes.
Maybe Mr. Siddharth can amplify it further.
Loss of use, business interruptions are terms which are used in the insurance industry. Loss of use is that you have a machine, let's take example of a farmer. He has a combined harvester, and there is a breakdown of that combined harvester, then he's not able to harvest.
Okay.
So when he's not able to harvest because of breakdown of the combined harvester, and then there is a loss of production. Okay, because of that, then there can be a business interruption cover for that. Or he has a farmer has a field in which he cuts the crops, he stores it, and it catches fire. So for him, he would have sold it and earned profit. Okay. So most of the time, the insurance company would pay the cost of
that loss,
yes,
not the sale price.
Okay.
So if you have an extended cover, you can insure yourself on the cost of sale. So you cover your profits also.
Okay.
Loss of use again is more commonly used in commercial vehicles or your personal vehicles. When you don't have a vehicle, then you hire another vehicle.
Okay.
So that's when the loss of use is paid.
Wow.
But in a very elementary way, you can say that if there is a peril because of which there is a loss, and because of loss there is no revenue generated, that loss of revenue can be insured under business interruption cover.
Okay, thank you so much. Well explained. This is Chikwama, and on this program we are we bring you actually the informal sector, small and medium entrepreneurs, information that is so helpful to you actually for your own information. And from now on, we have deliberately come up with programs where we'll be featuring, we'll be bringing these topics, broken down in our own local languages, Lunda, Kaonde, Bemba, Luvale, so that, what these two gentlemen are explaining to me, it is translated and discussed in our own native languages, so that we move on the same page, so that you do not remain behind. So coming soon on ABN TV are those programs, and we want to reach out to you. So in my own understanding, the insurance sector, the insurance players, they are also not doing much. Actually, my appeal goes to you also, the insurance companies, insurance players in the insurance sector. This platform that we've created as ABN TV, we want you to come here. Send us the people that are conversant in our local languages to come and break down this jargon, so that farmers, deep down, the small farmers, peasant farmers in the village can understand some of these policies that we've introduced. We know most of you insurance companies, you've got, agriculture cover, agriculture policies, but then they are not reaching out to the intended beneficiaries, who are the farmers. So you need to explain this, break it down in the language, like Mr. Sidat said, that they are able to understand, so that together we can do business and, we can create a win-win situation. Mr. Sidat, in a minute, your concluding remarks.
So for small businesses, what I would say is, first conserve what you have, then preserve what you have. Then the key is to reach where your products are. Instead of waiting for customers to reach you, you reach your customers. Instead of money makes money, and more the money circulates, and faster it circulates, it generates more money. So look at increasing your number of business cycles, number of sales, number of transactions in a day. Go to new geographies which has not been reached. So if you are trading in one small place, you should be able to say that you will be reaching out to, instead of you waiting for the customers to come to your place, you reach where your customers are. And that would help you overcome the economic hardships currently the entire economy is facing.
Wow. You, Mr. Tsangayo,
yes.
concluding.
For me, I would say that the ideal situation here is that you need to, first of all, to become self-reliance. You have to build that resilience inside yourself to say, for me to actually establish this business, I meant to do the ABCD, and I need to follow it, and I need to pursue. So that from that basis, we need to ensure that the business remains sustainable, and also you need to make sure that you've got a platform where you have planned business contingency plan, and also you have a value projection plan, and also you make sure that you have the explorative plan on in case of maybe your project fails, you are able to diversify and do something that can suit the changing economic environment.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So this has been Chikwama, and today I was joined by two gentlemen, Mrs. Datia Aya, and Mr. Kelvin Chisanga. These two gentlemen are experts. Mr. Sidat is an expert in insurance. Actually, we have just jump started. We have just kick started. We have moved a step. Next time, you keep from time to time you'll be seeing his face as we dig deeper in insurance so that everyone understands insurance, the benefits that come with insurance. We need to insure these businesses. We need to insure property. We need to insure ourselves. So Mr. Sidat, from time to time, I'll be inviting him. We'll be featuring him on this platform and many other platforms on ABN TV, just to make sure that this information reaches each and every person, so that together we can make this right decision. So this has been Franklin Mwapeka Pindula, your presenter and producer of Chikwama program. Until next Tuesday is bye-bye for now. Remember to mask up whenever you're going out. Okay, wash your hands regularly with water and soap. In an event that there's no water and soap, please, follow the alcohol-based hand sanitizer, avoid crowded places, and stay home if you don't have anything to do in those crowded places. Let's be a brother's keeper. It's bye-bye for now. God bless, and see you next time.
Access to loans, contributions to Social Security, and issues to do with tax were only left to the formal